It's Monday, January 11. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom Gayle. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the nation's security forces have been doing a fairly good job in fighting crime amidst additional duties such as ensuring public order during the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking at the recent Heal the Family, Heal the Nation gathering in Kingston, Mr. Holness says there is no action that the government could have taken to manage the pandemic without the security forces at the forefront.
And they have had to do this while manning SOEs, manning zones of special operations, doing their public order operations, and increasing their investigative capacity. Never before in the history of Jamaica has the police force brought so many cases before the courts. Because that is what policing is supposed to do. Our strategy has never been to empower any special squad or any special unit to go and fight crime in the conventional and traditional understanding of crime fighting. We fight crime with intelligence and investigation, and then we bring them before the co-equal arm of the state that dispenses justice, the courts. And they are the ones that will give the sentences that will act as deterrents. Our job is to bring them before the courts. And as citizens, I think you will agree, given our resources, given our constraints, that our police and military, our security apparatus, has done a fairly good job.
Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson has announced the transfer of 23 senior officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. The move forms part of the Constabulary's thrust to achieve its strategic objectives. Head of the JCF's Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent of Police Stephanie Lindsay, spoke to the transfers.
They, by commandment, and they looked at the overall force. Part of the strategies that we're trying to align everything, so you're aligning the people, the skills and everything. So part of the strategic direction of the force for 2021, Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson, he has reassigned some officers right across the country. So there have been some changes at command level as well as other levels within the force. 23 gazetted officers have been reassigned. This will come into effect on January 25th, 2021. One was already in place, and that was from December 3rd, and the other 22 will become effective January 25th.
There's a rush to procure COVID-19 vaccines across the globe. Director General of the World Health Organization, WHO's Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, says 42 countries are now rolling out safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines. However, rich countries are hoarding most of the supplies.
36 of these are high-income countries, and 6 are middle-income countries. So there is a clear problem that low and most middle-income countries are not receiving the vaccine yet. This is a problem we can and we must solve together through COVAX and the ACT Accelerator.
Dr. Ghebreyesus says small and middle-income countries who are signed to the COVAX facility, aimed at equal distribution of vaccines, have been making side deals. He says the rush for vaccine acquisition and additional bilateral agreements could pose a financial challenge.
This potentially bumps up the price for everyone and means high-risk people in the poorest and most marginalized countries don't get the vaccine.
Jamaica is known for its sun, sea, and athletes, and yes, it's music. Reggae is a national treasure that has impacted the globe, bridging the divide between nations. February is recognized as Reggae Month. Here are the highlights from the recent launch.
Plans to connect fans through virtual events in February to observe Reggae Month are well advanced. Reggae lovers will be fully plugged in, connected, engaged, and excited about the series of amazing virtual events planned for Reggae Month 2021. The organizers have lined up a series of amazing acts to allow everyone to virtually enjoy the best of Jamaica's DJs and reggae acts.
So massive do remember, no matter what you see I go on, the Almighty above all things. As the great anthem say, Eternal Father who put you first, you see. So watch you know where could you know where see you now. Hey, tell them Reggae Month, watch your Jamaica. Say we put you first and second and third. Watch your blessings come forth, blessings come forth. Yes, it is a miracle for make your thing shut and not end up a gun coat. End up a gun coat. Growing up on the banks of the hope, blood. We never give up and we never lose hope.
The virtual launch was held on Sunday, January 10, 2021. Reggae Month is organized by JARIA, the Jamaica Recording Industry Organization, the Ministry of Tourism, and the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport.
I speak to you on the occasion of the virtual launch of the 14th staging of the only month-long festival of its kind anywhere in the world, Reggae Month. By custom, we would be sending out invitations to the world to join us in Jamaica for Reggae Month in February. However, amid the throes of a global pandemic, we ask you to join our virtual celebration of Reggae Month this year. We can still get together and feel all right, even from a distance. A lot of creatives have been severely impacted by being grounded as the pandemic wreaks havoc on all sectors of the economy. We have been able to offer some assistance, small though it may be, to a number of creatives thus far, and we plan to reach others in the new year. For though we are not able to have the kinds of in-person gatherings on which our music thrives, we're not daunted by the challenges. After all, we're a people of a glorious ancestry, a people who have used the experiences of our past to create reggae music, whose rhythms the world recognizes and loves. Our reggae music has been a ray of hope that every little thing is going to be all right, a platform on which to fight for equal rights and justice, and a means to economic prosperity. In this regard, we want Reggae Month 2021 to signal the start of a process of building back stronger towards an even brighter and more dynamic future.
Thinking about Reggae Month, especially in this time of lockdowns and other restrictions mandated to stem the spread of COVID-19 pandemic, the line of a popular song, "Music alone shall live, never to die," readily comes to mind. Never has there been so many parodies of well-known songs inspired by the protocols dictated by the virus, but more importantly, it was musicians who first came up with the idea of virtually entertaining fans in the hope of helping them to cope with the mental stress and strain that had begun to take a toll on their families in their homes. In a very positive way, this illustrates the power of music. In this regard, a line from Tony Rebel's song, "A Reggae Put Jamaica on Top," succinctly illustrates the power and range of our indigenous music. Reggae, which has become indeed the heartbeat of the people.
Yeah, first thing in the morning, when we wake up, thank God for life. Look in the mirror, say we are the best, 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 best. Way to bless, 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 bless. We are the best, 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 best. Way to bless, 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 bless. Sure. No matter what them try, them can't be we no lie. Keeping from the side, we are take this thing well worldwide.
The Jamaica Reggae Industry Association, JARIA, is very pleased to be associated with Reggae Month 2021. We are happy to help you to catch the rhythm virtually. It is very important that we continue to celebrate ourselves as the entertainment mecca of the world, and JARIA is ready to help you do so. We have friends from all across the globe who are wanting to enjoy the pulsating beat of reggae music and the culture that we have here that is electrifying, the culture of one love. Welcome to the launch of Reggae Month 2021. Come catch the rhythm.
They wanna shelter from the storm.
For the news on PBCJ, I'm Carol Francis.
Common ground. This is no time to fight each other. What we need, solidarity. Solidarity.
Due to research, more and more people are embracing cannabis-based products for medical purposes. The marijuana plant reportedly contains more than 100 different chemicals called cannabinoids. Cannabinoids, or CDB, is proven to help patients with recovery and pain management. One of Jamaica's professional athletes has joined the cannabis industry as a business owner. Former Olympian Michael Frater, who turned 38 last October, was forced into retirement because of a persistent knee injury. He ventured into the industry after discovering how effective CBDs are for recovery and pain management. More from Marlon Samuels.
Research has caused public perception of marijuana for medicinal purposes to shift. Medical marijuana uses marijuana plant or chemicals in it to treat diseases or conditions. Cannabis-derived products are made with cannabidiol, or CBD. Each has a different effect on the body. The most common use is for pain control.
As you know, this is a medical dispensary, so we couldn't have done it without the medical advices of the doctors. And similar, doc has helped us with, especially with the prescription parts of it. You know, you have to prescribe the right dosage, and it has to be done by a professional. And doc has been on board with us, helping us, and it's what people need to understand, that this is not for recreational use. It's for medicinal use. And the doc comes on board and he makes sure that everyone is prescribed the right dosage and the right particular strain that is needed for whatever condition they have.
CBD is sold in various forms, including gels, oils, supplements, extracts, and teas. It is advisable to talk with your doctor or a qualified cannabis or CBD clinician before use. A doctor is on hand at 420 Sports Therapeutic Bliss. Strict control measures are enforced.
We interview the patient, we take some data from them, the name, age, date of birth, and we ask, well, what medical problems you have? Because sometimes it's not indicated for all medical problems. Like if you have asthma, you have joint pains, arthritis, or you have back pain. Mainly pain, you know, it's very good for pain relief. People who have problem with eating, people who have nausea, vomiting, cancer patients who have a lot of pain, a lot of nausea, people who have sleeping problems. I have a young female who came and they said they smoke a spliff weekend. Anxiety, some sort of depression. In the West, it has been used for epilepsy and asthma. So we still to do our research and do our trials or medical trials on the use of medical marijuana.
A clear and ever-present danger in the world of sports is injury. Athletes have reportedly been embracing the healing properties of CBD for a number of injuries and other ailments. Frater, who turned 38 last October, was forced into retirement because of a persistent knee injury. Numerous studies show medical marijuana has positive effects on athletes.
I just want more people to be educated on the concept of cannabis, medicinal cannabis, because under it also falls the CBD portions of it, which doesn't have any psychoactive ingredients, and the medicinal purposes for it is tremendous, and no one gets high from CBD, and it's in the sporting world it is very legal. You can take it without testing positive in any form or fashion, and a lot of athletes have been using it to help, especially with sleeping. With sleeping, it does wonders. It gives you a very good night's rest. So it helps in recovery. I know a lot of people now have been developing different proteins from the cannabis plant, which has been working excellent. So it's just about getting athletes and getting the general public to just, educate themselves on the benefits of the cannabis plant. In Jamaica, we have been known for it from as long as I can remember. So it's just about for me, just really educating our people and educating the world at large. Cannabis is not like any drug or any plant. Once it's abused, it can be hazardous to our health. But once it's used in a controlled environment and right prescriptions and everything, it can do wonders.
The new store employs strict health guidelines and COVID-19 measures.
It's a cannabis lounge where they will dispense through prescription cannabis, as well as provide a facility where personalities can come and relax and just chill out. I think it's an excellent move by Michael. It's good to see when athletes are investing and establishing themselves in business, because as professional athletes, the span in which you can earn from your athletic ability is limited. And so it's important to invest and to establish a business that continues that journey. And to see that Michael has decided to do this and to set up this business is commendable. I really want to see it grow. He has started a journey that has potential. Cannabis, as we say in Jamaica, ganja, is a business that has great potential. And when you combine an athlete with a name, an international athlete, an Olympian, a gold medalist, and you combine him as a brand, Jamaica as a brand, and Jamaican cannabis, locally grown, it really speaks volume to the fact that that combination has great potential, and he is moving in the direction that he can only succeed.
As the market for marijuana products formulated specifically for the sports industry grows, so too the potential for Michael Frater's 420 Sports Therapeutic Bliss.
We as athletes, there's life, after our sporting activity, and then to actually venture into business now, it's something that everyone looks to. So to Michael Frater to be, a businessman now, after his track and field career, something fantastic, and this is a, great initiative. And, we as athletes, we only can support each other, and, I'm glad to see the turnout by our Honorable, Babsy Grange, Asafa Paul and his wife. They came out and support a fellow, Olympian as well, so it's really good, and we can just wish him well, hopefully, things can actually, kicked off properly and get better for him.
For the news on PBCJ, I'm Marlon Samuels.
For the latest market movements, we go to Gabriel Thompson for the business report.
In Friday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index advanced by 808 points to close at under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 77 stocks, of which 33 advanced, 34 declined, and 10 traded firm. The Junior Market Index declined by 14 points to close at under 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for Berger Paints Jamaica, Cargo Handlers Limited, and Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica, AMG Packaging and Paper Company, and Barita Investments Limited. Trading firm were 1834 Investments Limited, Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited, and Derrimont Trading Company Preference Shares. Mailpack Group Limited was the volume leader with 2.1 million units, followed by Pulse Investments Limited with 1.9 million units and Trans Jamaican Highway Limited with 1.9 million units. Now for the foreign exchange. The US dollar on Friday, January 8 ended trading at $143.54. The Canadian dollar sold for an average $112.91. The pound sterling traded for $195.35, and the euro ended trading at $178.71. Oil prices fell on Monday on renewed concerns about global fuel demand amid strict coronavirus lockdowns in Europe and new movement restrictions in China, the world's second largest oil user after a jump in cases there. Brent crude futures fell 42 cents to $55.57 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures slipped 22 cents to $52.02 a barrel. And that does it for this edition of the Business Report on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
In regional news, the Bahamian fishing sector is divided when it comes to the Fisheries Bill 2020 that seeks to ban foreign fishermen from participating in commercial fishing in the Bahamas. We have more details in this report.
The Dominican bill, we really need that passed.
Stephen Simonet and his 22-member crew rejoiced when they heard government was passing a law that would ban foreign fishermen from engaging in commercial fishing.
We needed that in place maybe 20 years ago. We've been fighting this war now for 25 years, and they're just destroying our banks while we sit by and let them do it.
Oh, Lord, that was the greatest thing that ever happened for fishermen. We didn't need something like that 700 years ago, before slavery. So I gotta give it to the government. They did something for the fishermen.
These Bahamian fishermen say the presence of foreign fishermen has caused a decline in marine life in Bahamian waters. Simonet says it has made for tough days on the seas.
We have 22 in crew, so that's basically what 22 families that go out to sea with us. So it's a little hard sometimes. We've been out there and met them, all about through your traps and your traps empty and all of that. But hey, what you could do.
But not all Bahamian fishermen support the Fisheries Bill. 6 Bahamian fishing companies have threatened legal action against the government, saying they ought to have been consulted. Some foreign fishermen and their Bahamian wives have also come forward, saying their livelihood will be affected if the men can't fish. Ronald LeBlanche is the owner of the fishing vessel Black Bahamian. He doesn't support the bill and wants government to change its position.
We asking the Prime Minister, we know he's a fair person, to undo this injustice that's being done to Bahamian owners and Bahamian in a whole and Bahamian women.
But on the other side of the fishing industry, there are no complaints. This lifelong fisherman says now is the time to introduce the industry to school-age students.
If we're eliminating Dominicans, then that means there's sufficient room to bring up some of our own people into it. And, fishing is a difficult thing. It has to be sort of born into you to do. But who knows, the same guy that's bussing tables at PI might be interested in making a career out of fishing.
In Guyana, the mayor of Georgetown is not happy with the reluctance of the new government to work along with the city council on city projects. The city mayor told Friday News Conference that works are being undertaken within Georgetown without consultation. We hear more in this report.
While contracts and information for certain major works are being withheld from the council. He said the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development has been operating in a very shady manner. Mayor Ryan explained that under the previous administration, information was shared with the council. Displaying copies of volumes of contracts previously received, the mayor insisted that we must know as the city council to report our constituencies, our people out there. He said he is not clear about what is happening at the ministry and its move to shut the city council out of plans and contracts for the city.
We wrote the permanent secretary. The council made a decision. We wrote the permanent secretary, Tom Clark did, seeking documents on all the projects that the ministry intend or about to do within the city of Georgetown. We still await.
In Trinidad and Tobago, more changes to the capital city are coming. Mayor Joel Martinez says next in his sights is the completion of the plan for Chinatown or Charlotte Street, which make a part of the revitalization of Port of Spain. More in this report.
Festive lighting on the Brian Lara Promenade, banners with artists' works throughout the city, a refurbished cenotaph at Memorial Park, according to the Port of Spain mayor, are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the plans to bring life to the capital city.
One of the things that we are working on right now is Chinatown. I'm going to unveil the 4 lions that are going to arrive in the city for just in time for Chinese New Year in 2021, which is February the 12th. So we're going to do a ceremony on the 10th of February where we're going to unveil the lions, and we're also going to put up the Chinese lanterns on Charlotte Street.
Charlotte Street between Park Street and Independence Square was renamed Chinatown in October of 2019. But the mayor says discussions this week with the Downtown Owners and Merchants Association and the Ministry of Public Utilities will determine how to progress with a further upgrade to the area.
One of the things that we want to do before, which is possibly on the 10th of February, is to work on pedestrianizing Charlotte Street. So that is also part of the revitalization process. Charlotte Street has been for many years the discussion on whether it should be pedestrianized. We want to start it with a pilot project.
Among the other plans for Port of Spain outlined by the mayor, beautifying the Broadway area and Cipriani Boulevard, and removing unsightly overhead wires that aren't in use in natural spaces.
I have reached out to the Minister of Public Utilities to move some of the utility wires that are crowding up our lampposts, and it's what I call negative infrastructure. It's very unsightly. A lot of it is not being used. The minister, he has been written to. I spoke to him personally on it. He said he's gonna assist me in getting the job done, and I am looking forward to that. That will be.
And there's even consideration being given to the city's cemetery.
And so that we are going to move into a process of restoring the cemetery and digitalizing the records, and also making it a space where people can visit it as a tourist attraction, and open up the cemetery to make sure that people can go and look for their loved ones at any point in time. And that is part of a developing city.
Stacey Ann Providence, TDT News.
In sports, we bowl off with cricket. Veteran heavy-hitting batsman Chris Gayle and Carlos Brathwaite were both snatched up in Sunday's draft for the Pakistan Super League PSL. Other West Indies stars like Dwayne Bravo and Evan Lewis, however, weren't drafted. The 41-year-old Gayle, in the twilight of his career, but still in demand in the shortest format, will play for 2019 champions Quetta Gladiators after being drafted in the high-priced platinum category. In the meantime, Brathwaite will turn out for Multan Sultans in the supplementary category, but he and Gayle were just 2 of 4 West Indies players bought in the draft. White ball specialist Chadwick Walton was taken by Karachi Kings in the gold category, while 22-year-old emerging T20 international star Shafane Rutherford was picked up by the Peshawar Zalmi in the diamond category. Double world under-20 champion and Jamaican track athlete Briana Williams paid a visit to the office of the Prime Minister last Thursday to present printers to the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, for distributing to schools as the island continues to navigate distant learning during the pandemic. This was another in a series of philanthropic efforts by the athlete, who recently donated tablets to student athletes and a printing system to the Jamaica Cancer Society, who prints large volumes of pap smears, mammograms and testicular cancer screenings on a daily basis. Briana also conducted a Christmas treat in Montego Bay in December. And that's the news. Thanks so much for watching.